Shalom everybody! Today I'm going to teach you about Passover traditions. How do we celebrate Passover? Pesach. So now you know the story. It will help you a little bit in understanding why we use all these things while celebrating Pesach. So a special celebration that we have for Pesach is called Seder. Seder. Can you say it? Seder. Good job. And in English, Seder means order, which means we do things in order, in steps. We're following special steps every time when we celebrate. And how do we remember all these special steps? We don't really have to remember them because they are written in a special book we use during Pesach. It's called Haggadah. Haggadah means to tell. Leagid means to tell. So in this book, in the Haggadah, we have all the steps for the Pesach Seder. So we know what to do. And so we always have Haggadah during the Seder. And the whole family, and we invite friends, get together around the table. And we have beautiful tablecloths. And some people have really, really nice special dishes that they only use for Passover. And of course, we have special foods that we eat. And of course, we have a wine, a special Pesach wine or grape juice. And how do you call this? You got it, Kiddush cup. So we have to drink 4 cups of wine or juice during the Seder. Not all at once, but throughout the Seder. The Haggadah will tell you when it's time to drink another cup. So 4 cups altogether. And then there's special foods that we eat for Passover Seder. Of course, we're having a meal afterwards. We can have anything. Chicken or matzo ball soup, whatever you like, with special matzo balls made out of matzah that are kosher for Pesach. But there are special foods that we have to taste. And we usually have them on the plate. That's called a ke'ara in Hebrew. And there are 5 or 6 things on the ke'ara. So I'll tell you about some of them. So there is a parsley. We usually have parsley. That's called karpas. And what we do, we dip it in the salt water and then eat it. And it's actually really yummy. But do you know why we dip it in the salt water? Because we want to remember how hard Jewish people worked when they were slaves. And they were probably crying a lot. And sometimes when you cry, if your tear gets into your mouth and you taste it, it's salty. Your tears are salty. That's why we dip the parsley in the salt water to remember the tears of the Jewish people when we were slaves in Egypt. And then we have maror, some bitter herbs, maror in Hebrew. And again, we don't really have to eat a lot of it, but just to nibble a little bit. And it's very bitter. And why we do it? Because we want to remember how bitter, how hard the life of the Jewish people was when they were slaves in Egypt. And then there's another thing, it's called haroset. Haroset is a mixture of apples and cinnamon and sometimes a little juice in there. Sometimes people add nuts if you're not allergic, and you mix it all together, so it doesn't look very good. It kind of looks like a cement, the mortar that the Jewish people used to build cities for Pharaoh, but it tastes very good. It's very sweet, and it's called haroset. And we have an egg, a symbol of spring and the life going on and on and on. Yeah, and the seasons changing and the life changing, and bad things sometimes happen and then the good things come back. And we all need it right now, more of good things and beautiful things around us. So these are some of the foods on the ke'ara, on the plate. And of course, the main thing we eat for Passover, just like every Jewish holiday, has a special food that we eat. And this special food is, you're right, matzah. We eat matzah, a very special flat cracker made in a very special way so that we can eat it for Passover. And do you know why we eat matzah on Passover? Because in our story, when Jewish people were leaving Egypt, they were in such a hurry, just in case Pharaoh changes his mind. So they didn't have time to make a fluffy and soft bread that we usually eat. So they made a dough, they made it really flat, and the story tells they put this dough on their backs while it was still raw. And while they were walking through the desert under the very, very hot sun, the dough became a cracker, a very hard, crunchy cracker. But it was very edible, and this was the bread that they ate. And that's why we make this bread, and we still eat it for Pesach Seder. So on your table for Seder, you will have 3 matzot. Ahad, shtayim, shalosh. There are lots of numbers in the Pesach celebration. So sometimes you use a very special cover with 3 pockets. So there's 1 piece of matzah, 2, and 3. So you have it on the table, and when Haggadah tells us that it's time for matzah, the leader of the Seder take the matzah from the middle pocket, the second one, the one in the middle, take it out, and cracks it in 2, and the bigger part becomes a very special piece of matzah that we call afikoman in Hebrew, or in English we say afikoman. So you know why this is very special? Afikoman means dessert in Greek language. So this piece of matzah has to be eaten at the very end of the Passover Seder. So everybody has to have a piece for dessert, afikoman. But to make it more fun for you kids to celebrate Passover and to have Seder, because sometimes it's very, very long, the grown-ups hide the afikoman. They wrap it, and then there might be a special bag for it, or that you can just wrap it in a tissue, a paper towel, and the grown-ups hide it somewhere in the house. And you kids have to go look for it. And then you can trade it, because grown-ups really need this piece of matzah. You can trade it for a special price or for something very special. So if you find it, you give it to them so we can finish our Seder and have a dessert at the end. So afikoman, a special piece of matzah. So these are the things you need for your Seder table, on your Seder table. And I have a special song to teach you so you can remember what you need for your Seder table. And we're gonna do it right now. So let me take some extra things away so you can see all the other things that I have there. All right, are we ready? It goes like this, What are the things we need for the Seder table? These are the things we need for the Seder table. We need the Haggadah for the Seder table, but the people around the table are what we need the most. Hey! Can you say hey? Hey! Good job! What are the things we need for the Seder table? These are the things we need for the Seder table. We need the Haggadah. We need the Kiddush cup for the Seder table, but the people around the table are what we need the most. Hey, what are the things we need for the Seder table? These are the things we need for the Seder table. We need the Haggadah. We need the Kiddush cup. We need the 3 matzot for the Seder table, but the people around the table are what we need the most. Hey, what are the things we need for the Seder table? These are the things we need for the Seder table. We need the Haggadah. We need the Kiddush cup. We need the 3 matzot. We need the Ke'ara, Seder plate for the Seder table, But the people around the table are what we need the most. Hey! Great job, everybody. So now you can start getting ready for the Seder. Bubai and Kipudi and Morah and Iryna are getting ready too, with all the special foods and all the special things, and of course, the story of Pesach. Shalom. See you next time.